me for Win the Day. I am super excited for all of my podcasters. This past week was an awesome week. If you have not yet subscribed to 100K Challenge Chick podcast, please do join us there in podcast land. And also for all of you who join me on YouTube, I truly appreciate it. And for those who are live with me on Facebook, welcome. Good morning. It is 10 a.m. We're a Tuesday, and I'm super stoked. I'm going to give you guys a glimpse into what my life has been like over the past 2 weeks. And the only reason I'm really sharing this is because I'm not the only one going through this. So many people, I literally coached two people and have had plenty of conversations about all the distractions and shiny objects that are just flying in front of our faces. So, we're going to talk about a really good evaluation system that you can use so that you can decide, is this new thing that's coming to me worth exploring, or is this absolutely a distraction that I need to organize and maybe put aside for now? So I am Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick, and I'm here to empower women to break the 100K income ceiling in their businesses. This topic absolutely is a reason why a lot of women, a lot of people get distracted and don't hit their income goals, their growth goals, reach the clients that they want because there's always something new that looks nicer, better, bigger, that you're a little bit more passionate about that comes along and distracts you. So, what should you do in those cases? So I am going to be sharing with you guys my real life shiny objects. Um, and it comes from like legit things that I'm super excited about in my life. Nothing that was just a random thing being thrown in front of me. Usually, the reason why the shiny object is called shiny object is because it's something that is super attractive to you, right? You don't call it a shiny object if you didn't notice it, because then it clearly wasn't that bright or significant. So, we're talking about things that are significant, that you care about, that literally can be something really awesome and great, but are they for right now? And that's what we're going to talk about. So let me tell you what has been going on. So let's see. A full week ago, the first weekend in May was my college daughter's graduation. So we maybe just the week before learned that we could actually attend in person. So I was super excited, rearranged life so that we could get there. Um, and we were able to attend graduation in person, help her move out, all of that. But before, this was going to be a very different experience. So while I am traveling, I'm still working, but I'm also sharing, of course, how excited I am for her to graduate. I now have photos that I can post that are live, because it would have been kind of awkward to have graduation photos from watching her on Zoom, right? So now I'm like in person, we're doing photo shoots. It's so awesome. My daughter graduated from Duke University with highest distinction, you guys. She created her own major. Pretty much her entire process through college was amazing and phenomenal. But the thing that I was super proud of is that she was graduating, and it didn't hit me until we had come home, right? So, like a day or two after graduation, she uses the hashtag degreed and debt free. And as a parent, you know what it's like to have your kids first want to go to one of the very selective schools in the country. So if your kids have their eyes on Ivy Leagues, the Duke Universities of the world, the baby Ivy Leagues, because I just learned that that was the whole thing and category, or if they want to be recruited for sports, something that you don't have control over, it is you're just on pins and needles when this child is applying to college, because no parent wants their kid to be disappointed. So not only did my kid get into Duke University, which is super selective, it's like ridiculously selective, but she was also um, a scholar, which covered all of her expenses while she was in college, and it included technology, it included stipends, it included that she could do work study, it included like a ton of stuff, and she took advantage of all of it. So she was able to study abroad every year until 2020. She was able to create her own major in fashion. She has sewing machine, like all kinds of stuff that she was able to finance through her degree, through this scholars program, through all of these other outside scholarships that she was able to gain. So for us to sit at that moment at graduation, and even for the few days after, and she's using this hashtag degreed and debt free, I literally cried. So I'm sharing all of these moments on Facebook. She's sharing. And then, of course, our family knows because we're giving them the inside scoop through text message and all those things. So, what happens next? She's graduated, she's home for a very short time, and I am getting flooded with people asking, "Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of her. How did you do this?" I want my kids to be degreed and debt free. And people are contacting me when they have literally kids that haven't started school, kids who are in elementary school, and of course, the people who have kids who are like juniors or going into their senior year. So they are just like, I need your help. Like, you have to tell me what you did. So I go to my daughter, like, look, I just accidentally started this whole business called Degreed and Debt Free. I'm going to be teaching parents how to do this. And she laughs because she as well uses hashtag and has been over flood with students, right? So I got all the parents reaching out to me because on Facebook, I belong to a lot of parent groups. And I'm not even kidding you. I posted like, congratulations to her, like, I think I wrote like, I have a graduate, hashtag degreed and debt free. It had over, I'm not even kidding, it had over 3,000 likes and it had like some ridiculously insane number of comments. I think it was like 3,000 comments, and then some insane huge number of thousands of likes. This was in a specific parenting group that has like 200,000 members, but we're always congratulating everything that everybody else's child does. But what that also included was all these questions like, how can I do this? And I understood what it felt like to be that parent. It took me back to that time that I was so stressed out about this child going to college, getting what she wanted, what it was going to be like if she didn't get it. And I would have like paid so much for advice and tips and someone to ask questions to that could help me, because that anxiety and that time frame is real. So here I am faced with all these parents, and here she is faced with all these students who want to understand what she did. And we know what she did because she's awesome at documenting, she's awesome at all of those things. So we could absolutely share this journey. There, my friends, is my shiny object, right? I am in the middle of launching a membership platform for my own business. This is my very first time having a membership where I am obligated to educate, entertain, help you reach your goals and deliver something on a monthly basis. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of pressure. And you need to do a good job because they're paying you a monthly fee and they can leave, right? So if I screw up this time frame of really setting up this membership, really moving my business forward, this membership also gives me a ton of opportunity to make partnerships with other businesses, because I have a lot of friends who are business owners, not just like legit, we grew up together friends, but people like colleagues, associates, people that I'm meeting, and we can do some real great business together. And so this membership isn't just about what is the next step and how am I getting clients result. This is like the legit way I'm going to grow my business. But then I have parents over here like, oh my gosh, how did you do this? You must tell me. What do I do? This is exactly what shiny object syndrome does. This is exactly it. You're stuck in between. You have a dilemma that on both sides is so awesome, right? Because nobody's going to tell me it's not a worthwhile thing to help parents have a little bit of ease, a place to go, a place to talk. However, I decided to structure this, whether it was a membership, just a class, just a workshop, whatever, I could choose to do anything. And people are going to show up because they want the result that I had. And it's tangible and it's valid like today. Because people are excited about the graduation. They want to do something today with me and my daughter. And from her perspective, they want to do something today to pick her brain before she forgets how she got all this done. So it's a legit shiny object. It is a legit, awesome, great shiny object. And for me, having been in business, this is how I have started several other businesses in my life. I haven't grown them all to be like huge successes outside of my bakery. And I'm not going to, and my marker for success is super high, right? So a lot of you would be totally happy with several of the businesses that I have. And you would feel like that was good income, all of that. But I understand the potential. And I also understand my time. I'm one person. I can't do everything, right? So that's what also makes this a shiny object. So I'm going to share with you guys the 3 things that I did to figure out if I should pursue this. First, when you have a shiny object, it really does force you to take a hard look at the business that you're currently running. Because the whole reason why this is a shiny object and not something that you can just pursue and take on and run with is because you are obligated to something in your current business. So the first thing that I did was look at my current business and said, what can I automate here? What am I doing and spending my time doing that I now can pay for a tool in order to do? And if I pay for this tool, then that frees up some of my time because I'm going to automate. And maybe that's some of the time that I can dedicate to this new venture. But first, I need to figure out what are the things that I can automate. So I did that. I went through, I realized I am not consistently posting on social media and I need to automate that. So I found an app that I'm going to be doing the scheduling. I realized that I can do more recordings for some of my programs in advance because now there's more steps to getting my recordings done. So that's not necessarily automated, but I figured out how to also chunk some of my time. So I literally made a list of things that I am spending my time doing that's not really accounted for time and things that had to get done. And then I figured out, can I automate this? Number 2, I figured out what are some things I can delegate. Not everything is going to fit nicely into an app. So what can I delegate or train someone else to do so that it can still get done? I think I shared with you guys that I recently hired my very first virtual assistant. I am going to do something about that, but I'm still learning how to work with her, learning how to organize myself so that we have productive meetings. But overall, at this point, if I want to even think about that shiny object at all, I have to figure out what is it that I can delegate in my own business. So first it was, what can I automate? Because that didn't include anybody else. That just included me organizing myself, getting tools, and figuring out how I can get some things to work on their own. Two was delegate, because now I have to make sure the systems are in place and pass them along to someone else. So that was the second thing that I looked at. And I did find a few things, including like the social media. I could pass some of that stuff off to someone else and they can use the automated tool. So that's just one area. I went through a lot of areas of my business to figure this out. And then three, I had to ask myself the really, really hard question that I think most of you avoid when you're dealing with shiny objects is this the right time? Is this the right time? And so clearly, everybody else thinks it is. Everybody else is legitimately asking me for this degree and debt-free program, class, mentorship, whatever you want to call it. They want it badly. So is this the right time? It's the right time for them, but is this the right time for me to do this? So what I did was I literally just put aside 2 days for me to go through these three things in my current business and in my current life. I had to think about, okay, if I want to set this up, what kind of time can I devote to it? What are the things that are going to be on my plate in the next few months? Do I want this to be something that I'm just creating a Facebook group that's free? Am I charging you to join workshops? We literally came up with workshops, the topic names, who we could invite, who could be a part of this community as far as experts like SAT coaches and high school counselors, college admissions. I used to work in the field of college admissions, and my daughter is still very closely connected to a lot of the scholarship programs. Those people would love to talk to excited parents. I wouldn't even have to pay them, because if they did a great job, they would earn their money by getting new clients. And I would be legitimately helping these families move their kids along. So this started to become very real because I had a lot of the resources right in front of me. I spent 5 years in college admissions, so I know how this animal works. And to hear from admissions counselors and to understand the process is priceless. Not just that informational that you attend, but to know people who actually read those applications is a huge deal. And that's what I did for 5 years. So I have a ton of resources. And so this was literally just falling in place. But the thing that caused me to say no, did y'all think I was going to say no? The thing that caused me to say no and to put this in the category of a shiny object is the fact that my current business is in such a crucial time and I can't afford to do something else. I was already in a place thinking that launching this membership was a lot and a bit overwhelming. And I have 2 people literally just helping me almost every single day answer my questions. I implement, and then I have more questions, and I go back to my coaches and say, okay, so for the cart, should I do a open and close cart date? Because I really want people to join anytime. And they walk me through the pros and cons of opening and closing the cart and how I should do that. And then I go to my tech people. Is this possible? If I want to do this type of schedule, can I open and close this one sales page, or am I now talking about multiple sales pages? Because if you close cart, am I able to reopen? I'm just like, in my opinion, at such a early stage because it's not done. So I couldn't afford to jeopardize this huge opportunity that I've literally been building for several months. I've been building up to this moment to launch my membership platform. It's going to launch publicly to you guys in July. I have a firm date. I have like graphic artists that are going to start working with me so I can get some of my graphics done. We're going to have some awesome merch. Like, this is like growing. And I want to create a really awesome community. And I can't do that if I allow shiny objects to come in and steal my time. So as awesome as it is, as great of an opportunity, as passionate as I am to help parents and to literally like celebrate my daughter's accomplishment in this way of a business that literally allows her legacy and the things that she built to carry on through so many more students. Do you know how proud I would be if I was able to help other families get their kids into their top choice schools on scholarship and graduate without debt? That would be amazing. I would literally feel so awesome about doing that. But I already decided months ago what I was going to be doing with my time. So I have to honor my previous commitment. I have to honor the students who are legitimately about to be in that membership next month. So that's the evaluation. What can I automate in my business? What can I delegate in my business? And is this the right time? And literally, I took 2 days. I typed it up. Don't write it in a notebook. I typed it up. And I decided that right now was not the time. But I wrote down the people that I could contact, the ways that I can get this done, the ideas for the workshop, the ideas for the name, all of that, what my role would be, what my daughter's role would be, how we would work with families. We literally just spent 2 days, thought about this, put everything else on the back burner. And then I decided now is not the time. But what will happen is once I get this membership going, we will see what my daughter's time frame is. That was the other side. She's about to start a fellowship. She has no idea what that's going to require from her. And so it didn't make sense to take on this project that would require her time, would require her to show up. And she doesn't have a clue what her time will look like in the next after about 3 months. So you can't start something not knowing that you can show up strong for your clients. So we decided to table it, but because we wrote such great notes, the next time we pick this up, we can pick up where we left off. So I didn't lose anything. I lost 2 days. It absolutely affected my business. I was behind on stuff. My students were like, hey, you said you were going to send me this. Can you send it? And I'm like, oh, crap. I was doing something else. So I did send it with apologies, of course. But I don't regret using 2 days of my life to figure out whether I had a legit business on my hand. And to be honest with you, I do have a legit business on my hand. I know that category, that topic, like in the back of my hand. And I'm going through it again. This is also why it was such great timing. I'm going through it again because I have a junior in high school. So I can literally document his experience. So I have one that just graduated and one that's about to go into senior year. And because of COVID, we're just starting the campus visits this year. So I could have documented that. That could have been great ways to attract new clients, all of that. But I had to say not right now. So I want you guys to not be afraid to say not right now and to protect your time that you are devoting to your current business. The last thing you want to do is be known for the person who starts really awesome things and doesn't finish anything, because you will never make the income that you want. You will never see the success in your business if you're constantly doing something new. Your clients need to be able to predict the behavior of your business. They need to understand the timing. Like, when can I join? What do you offer? How does this fit in my life? And then they make the decision about when they join you. But if once they're ready to make that decision and they come back and now you're doing something different, you have lost all of the time and energy you put into that business. You lost it because you couldn't stay consistent long enough for your clients to make the decision to work with you. So I wasn't willing to throw that away. At the end of the day, I wrote down that the thing I want to be known for is to be an awesome business coach that sees women all the way through to that $100,000 income. I have women on that path right now. So it's not time for me to abandon that. It's time for me to crank it up in my business and really get results. So as if that wasn't enough, here's the last part that I'm going to share. Of course, shiny objects come in multiples. So, my youngest daughter, she's 14, she is a speech student. She had a speech tournament this past weekend. So, 1 weekend, 2 week, yeah, 1 week my daughter graduates from college. The next week is Mother's Day, and my daughter has a speech tournament that weekend. It's the finals for speech. And she, a novice, an eighth grader, competing against high schoolers, competing against other people, take second in the nation, you guys. Second in the nation. She has no idea what that really means because she literally like walked onto the team, did a great job, worked her butt off, and took second place. So to her, she's like, I mean, next year I'll get first. I mean, I don't know. Like she, and because it's like she did the competition at home versus in person where you get a trophy, where you can really see that people travel from all over the country to compete. She doesn't have that perspective when you're doing it on Zoom. So she went second in the nation. We don't even understand like what this means, but the coaches call, we are like flooded with people saying, "Oh my gosh, your daughter is so awesome. She's going to be ninth grade next year. She's going to be varsity for speech, which is going to be tough because she's going to be competing mainly against seniors. But that's the level that she's at, and she's just going to have to learn." And so we're just like, oh my gosh, this child has accomplished something huge. We have to do something about this. So that as well was a smaller shiny object because the only thing that we're going to do, I'm not starting a whole business. I'm just throwing a celebration in her honor so that she understands that we know the brevity of what she has done, what she was able to accomplish, and to really celebrate that event in her life. She's not an athlete. I mean, she has to play sports for school, but she's not my son who's going to have football tournaments and come home with a trophy and win, like travel to Florida and compete in youth sports and, do all these different things. Sports carry a different type of accolade, and that's what we're used to celebrating in my house. Of course, my kids get great grades. We celebrate their grades when they get report cards, all of that. But this was a different type of honor. So I want her to understand that we care about it, that we care about her, and we want to celebrate this milestone. So that is a shiny object that legitimately I spent a few hours. I'm doing a Zoom with family and friends, some of her friends. It's a surprise to her. And we're going to have dinner and everybody else join us on Zoom. So we'll get her favorite food. We'll have the Zoom. And so that didn't take a lot of time for me to plan. But I also knew that if I didn't celebrate this milestone in her life, I would absolutely regret it. And she wouldn't have a clue how big of a deal this is. So that is a shiny object that I said yes to because there wasn't anything I needed to automate or delegate in my business. I didn't have to figure out if this was great timing because I was only organizing an event for one evening and it's primarily on Zoom. So I made the decision, move forward. It's being executed. I'm doing it tomorrow. So that's how I deal with stuff, you guys. I just take out a small chunk of time, whether you need 2 days, which I really don't recommend you use more than 2 or 3 days straight, and just focus on that new thing and decide, can I automate something in my current business? Can I delegate something so that I could free up my time? And is this actually a right time to do it? I want you to think realistically because I don't want you to sabotage what you're currently working on. What you're working on right now is the most important thing for you to finish. Okay? When we come together for Win the Day, we're here to finish some things, you guys. We're not here to start the most interesting businesses. We're not here to consider the most interesting business. We are here to execute, to implement, to see results. And you're never going to see results if you allow everything that comes your way to be a distraction, to pull you off course, and to pull you in so many directions. As moms, we are already pulled in so many directions by our husbands, by our kids, by our homes, by the things that we need to do for ourselves, especially if you also work. So don't spend a lot of time entertaining other shiny objects. Stay focused on your one thing. What is it that you want to be known for? Because if you chase every single shiny object, I promise you're not going to be known for anything in particular. You're going to be known as the girl who starts a lot of stuff, and that's it. So let's not do that. Let's focus. Let's win the day each day. Let's evaluate what's in front of us. And let's make good decisions. We are business owners, okay? Business owners have to make tough decisions sometimes. And saying no to that opportunity was really hard for me. But I also understand that there are other points of the year where I can legitimately start this and not lose anything. I can start it at the beginning of a school year. I can start it at the beginning of a year. I can start it next graduation season. So I have options. It's not gone. She's still degreed and debt free, even a year from now. So I can do it later. And I'm okay with that. And for the few people that I love, near and dear to my heart, if they want to call me and I just personally coach them, maybe that's what I'll do. But I will not allow this opportunity to launch my membership with my full attention to pass me by. This is huge for me and my business, and I'm not going to self-sabotage. I'm not going to take the shiny objects. I'm going to stay on course. So I hope that helped you guys. I legitimately coached 2 other people through this week. They had awesome, great ideas, and I did 1-hour sessions with each of them, and they were able to, at the end of that hour, really decide now was not the time. So all 3 of us did not take the shiny object. Although I took the smaller object, which really wasn't a huge distraction, but it was still a distraction because I had to organize people and do all those things, but it was worthwhile. So you guys have a really great day. Thank you so much for joining me for Win the Day and for the 100K Challenge Chick podcast. You guys rock. I want to hear about your businesses. Let me know about some shiny objects that you've had to face and what you decided to do. Drop it in the comments if you're with me on Facebook or YouTube. If you are joining from the podcast, find me online. I still want to hear about what you're doing. I want to know what you guys are working on. I want to know if you have some other ways that you evaluate your shiny objects. Let's make this a conversation. I want to hear from you guys. Have a great day. Thank you for joining me. Bye.